Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Overcoming Graduation with Brian Drury, a show where I work to teach you everything I wished I'd known about life to help you graduate to the next level in your own. And today is another installment of the Morning Commute, a show where I work to give you some content, go a little shorter form than my normal hour plus interviews, and give you something that's a little more bite-sized that you can take through the day to help kick off your day on the right foot. So today we will be talking about what we think we're really working for. And this concept is so important and so often neglected and oftentimes just ignored entirely. People will focus on what they're doing. They're trying to get a job, they're trying to get into a good school, they're trying to make more money, they're trying to get in shape. But the why behind what they're doing is rarely, if ever, investigated. Or, another interesting thing is we often will only go so deep into our why to get something that's passable. But when we have a weak why, something that isn't meaningful to us, it is very easy to let go of the dream, the goal, the idea, etc. And so, some examples of this, and what I like to emphasize for people, not just to me it's critically important to emphasize this for people based off what I've experienced in my life. Because we think that we want more money and cars and fame and all of these different things. The really interesting thing about that is one of my mentors said, and I believe it was the mentor in the sense that I saw him present, not a personal mentor, but I saw him present at one of my mentor's conferences. And Dean Graziosi said, look for people who have the results you want in your life and then model what they've done. That doesn't mean copy exactly. That doesn't mean become them. That means model the behaviors that you see in that person that led to their results, and that will help you very likely help you achieve the goal. And the example he gave was, he's like, I love my parents dearly. I love them both very, very much. I would never ask them for relationship advice because they don't have the results I want, because each of them has been divorced multiple times. So if I want to find out how to have a happy, lasting, loving marriage, they're not the experts that I want to be speaking to. And we often think, okay, I know what I want. Yeah, money, house, cars, fame. Great. What results do you want? Most people won't even ask this question. They're like, well, no, I want money, house, cars, fame. Like, I want that. That's my result. Great. What do you think that's going to make you feel? What do you think the money, the house, the cars, the fame, the beautiful women or beautiful men, whatever it is you're going for, and people just revering you, and you get thousands of likes on every picture you post on Instagram, what is that going to bring you? Oftentimes we chase this shit not even knowing why we're chasing it. It's like a dog chasing after a car. The old line from The Dark Knight when the Joker says, I'm like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do with it once I caught it. Here's what ends up happening. We're chasing these things, but if we look at the people who have the results we want, just money, cars, fame, and a lot of visibility in the public eye, how many of them are having really tough times? How many of them are pretty fucked up in a lot of different ways? Not to say we all aren't in our own ways, but how many of them dealing with drugs, with the police, with anxiety, with divorce? Like, we tend to emulate certain people because they have something that we think we want, and we think that if our life had that thing, whatever it is, the beautiful wife, the amazing car, then I'd be happy, then I would be fulfilled, then I would be peaceful, then I would relax, then I would be grateful. It's all destination fallacy. It's all accomplishment fallacy. Literally, as I'm recording this on my drive, there is a lime green Lamborghini to my left. And think about how many people. It's a pretty cool looking car. I think Lamborghinis look cool. I still think it's an insane amount of money for a car, but bright green Lamborghini looks pretty sweet as I'm driving by. $250,000 car. Don't know much about cars, but I'm pretty sure that's the right ballpark for a Lambo, depending on what type. $250,000 on a car. And we think, oh, if I had that, life would be so different. If I had the money to buy that, if I was that guy or girl that's driving it, I would be so much happier, so much better, so much healthier, so much blank, 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 blank. And here's the really interesting thing. First off, we know nothing about that person. That person could, one, just have rented that for the day. Just wanted to drive a Lambo. Sure. That person could have been so consumed by other people's opinions of them and was using external objects to get people's validation, to affirm their self-worth and their self-value, that maybe they put themselves into crippling debt to get that car. Maybe they are so desperate for the adulation of their peers that they would do anything, including put themselves in a devastating financial situation to get there. Maybe the job that they had to work, maybe let's say they do have the money, let's say the job or the business they created, the job they had to work to create that value destroyed their personal life and their relationships, that their marriage fell apart, that their relationship with family and kids is non-existent. It's really interesting because we look at celebrities and we go, I want to be a celebrity. And I think if I ask most people, would you want everyone to see everything going on in your life at all times and never have a moment to yourself? Even super extroverts like me would be like, no, I fucking need time to myself here and there. Like, every now and then I really just need to kind of get away from people and reboot. And sometimes I just need to rest. And then it's like, oh, would you want all of your mistakes publicly, not just publicized, but criticized, critiqued, reviewed, having people judge because on social media, they got the iron curtain of social media and the internet to hide behind. People can say all kinds of horrific shit, and they do. And as we've seen, that has an impact on human beings. People do get impacted if they continue to read negative shit over and over, or they can have an overly inflated ego if it's positive over and over. Neither extreme is good. It's good to have a healthy level of check in yourself, and it's good to support and celebrate yourself. But the really interesting thing with all of these different concepts is, if you want certain results, if you want different results, who can you learn from? And even if someone hasn't done exactly what you're trying to do, well, maybe they've done something similar, and by learning from them, you can model a certain set of behaviors. You can model a mindset. You can model a routine that they have that helped them towards that goal. So maybe they've never built a microprocessor and coded a video game that changed people's lives. But maybe they built a really successful business and have kept themselves in shape the whole time. One of the things they did was every morning they woke up and they did 10 minutes of jump rope, and that got their day off to a great start. And then they would go journal about their goals and do this, and you're like, great, I'm going to model that behavior towards a totally different goal. But I believe that modeling that behavior will help me towards the result that I'm working towards. And when we see and we start to model people who have the results that we're looking for, we start to look for commonalities and trends, and we start to pay attention. We don't just look at this overarching trend of famous. Because it also forces us to ask, what do we actually want? People go, I want fame. It's like, why? Do you really? What does fame look like? We see a person that's on the cover of magazines and gets to be on TV all the time. We don't see the public intrusion that happens on their lives. We don't see people constantly asking them for things. We don't see the manipulation of family and friends, of people that are begging them for money and stuff, or always looking for something from them. We don't see and here's a very interesting point, that as I've gotten to know more high-level people and studied them more, something I don't think most people see that was a real kind of game changer for me, in that we chase things constantly, and we think they're going to make us happy. And most people spend most of their life chasing those things, so they never have a chance to arrive at the destination, quote unquote, and then step back and look about how they really think and feel. As I've talked to more of these people, and as I've started to achieve goals in my life that much faster than I thought, or at this time, it just came up and I achieved that goal and dream that I said, wow, that's going to be the real game changer, or that's going to be the thing that changes my life forever. Here's the interesting thing. It's easy to go, if I had all the money in the world and all the time, then I'd be really happy. Because, one, all the money in the world all the time, all right, that's not going to happen. And so it's this impossible reality that you're chasing you'll never be able to reach. But if you said, if I never had to worry about money again, and I had total freedom to choose what to do with my time, then I would be happy. Okay, well, one, are you working to create that? But then two, here's the crazy thing that happens. If someone, let's say I was able to give you that right now. If I was able to give you total financial independence for the rest of your life and total freedom to pursue any and every goal, objective, dream, desire that you ever wanted, there would definitely be some excitement. At first, you would go off. I mean, I would travel. I would bring friends places. I would throw a big party and celebrate people. I would pay off my debts. I would do all these things. And that initial, holy shit, yes. But then, here's the crazy part. There's an old quote that says, wherever you go, there you are. And I remember when I started my job where I traveled to 13 different countries around the world, traveled for 50% plus of the year, every year for 3 years. I remember thinking, if I had a job where I got paid to travel the world, I would never be sad. I'd never be unhappy. I would have everything, because travel is and was one of my favorite things. But then I got that job. And any of you who've been following my story know that I accepted that job offer while I was with my mom in the hospital when she had been admitted for her pancreatic cancer. This is before we moved to step down, and before we moved to the ICU, and before we moved to hospice, and before my mom passed away. And I distinctly remember sitting in Hong Kong on my bed in a 4 or 5 star hotel overlooking Kowloon Bay, fully paid for by my company. I got to fly business class out there. All of my food and meals are covered. I had money for food or drinks or whatever. It was all taken care of. About the most luxurious travel you could really imagine. And I was working with great people around the world. I was getting to network with our contacts all over the planet. And I was fucking miserable. Because here's the thing, guys. That goal, that thing I'd been chasing, felt like it just didn't mean shit without my mom. That I would give that all up to have any amount of time back with her. And there's a part of me that goes, oh, you're just saying that because it sounds good. Oh, that's just what people want to hear. And I'm like, no, like, if you told me I could have another day with my mom to give all this up, it's like, God, I can't even say what I would do for that. It doesn't, there's no way to measure the value. And it's like, and we get caught up, it's like, oh, what about debt? What about money? It's like, guys, we figure it out. We can. We always do if we are willing to work for it. But what I'm trying to illustrate, what I'm trying to point out is that there is, when people arrive where we all think we're trying to get, when celebrities get there and they have all the money and all the fame and all the prestige and people think they're sexy and people are DMing them nude pics and they think, this was what I've been chasing. And they get there and they're still unhappy. They go, well, what the fuck is wrong with me? That's why, and I've heard Kyle Cease or Jim Carrey both talk about this. They said, that's why so many of these actors and celebrities turn to drugs or religion or both. Oftentimes it's drugs, which then leads to a downfall, which then leads to some kind of religious epiphany or just total change. Maybe it's a spiritual thing, maybe it's a yoga practice, but we're all chasing it and not looking at the results. We're all chasing it and not looking at the people that we're emulating. We look on Facebook and see the highlight reel of most people's lives, and we start to get down on ourselves because we're not living that very cultivated image of what life should be, or the overly, like, you don't see the monotony and boredom in most people's timelines. You don't see the down days. You don't see the negative things that they experience. You see, like, oh, they're on a cruise, they're in Sonoma wine country, that they're on a boat, that they're this, and we think everyone else is living life while I'm sitting here, and most people are doing the exact same shit. So, I want you to really question, who are you emulating? And also, how much are you letting social media nonsense dictate your reality and shift you away from what you really want to be doing? And using it to make you feel guilty or make you feel sad or like you're not doing enough. Because social media is great for a lot of things, but it can have a very negative effect on us intellectually and emotionally if we allow it to go unchecked and we don't vet it and say, yes, okay, hey, I'm really glad they're doing that, and also this is social media. People have ups and downs, and people have good and bad. So consider why you started. Consider, why are you doing this? Because when we say, oh, I'm going to work, and then I'm going to spend time with my family, what if they die? It's sobering, but it's real, because we all are headed that way. we go, that wouldn't happen to me. I thought the same thing. And then at 24 years old, my mom passed away from pancreatic cancer. And I didn't have regrets because I found and selected a job that had work-life balance. I found and selected a job that valued me as a human being, not as a cog in their machine. And because of that, when my mom was sick, I got to spend as much time with her as I could. I don't regret it because I was able to be there for her when she needed me. And she was there for me much more than she realizes, even in her pain. So don't get blinded by the current objective and let that overshadow what you're really working to do in your life, because I think we're all working to cultivate more love and more deep, meaningful relationships. And by more, I don't mean quantity, I mean depth. And one of the most important relationships we often neglect is the one with ourselves. So today, where can you refocus on the priorities that really matter and make time for the things that are most important to you? Pick that one area and take one small step today and one small step tomorrow, and continue to take small steps and watch as your life shifts, and watch as your happiness shifts, and watch as your results shift, and watch as your connections shift. So I want to thank you all for joining me today for this episode of the Morning Commute on overcoming graduation. And also, I wanted to remind you all of the upcoming event that Jonathan Fischer and I will be co-hosting in Santa Monica, California, called Beyond Belief. And we are going to spend an entire day from 8:45 in the morning to 5 p.m. at the City Garage Theater in Santa Monica, California, teaching you how to live a life beyond belief in health, wealth, and relationships through play, through laughter, through opening up, through connecting with pieces of yourself that you may not even know exist, and through helping you identify some of the invisible or unconscious barriers that have been holding you back, maybe for days, weeks, months, or maybe your entire life. John and I are here to help with that. John is a master practitioner in NLP and a trainer in NLP and hypnosis. I have worked with clients all over from all different backgrounds, all different ages, and helped them expedite results in their life, transform their lives, let go of the bad habits and the limiting beliefs to create a life that is beyond belief in time periods that they didn't think it was possible. So we want to help you, and we want to take you on that adventure. So thank you all for joining me today. I love you all. I really appreciate you listening. If you are interested in coming to the event, the link to purchase tickets to Beyond Belief will be in the show notes, as well as you can visit overcominggraduation.com, and the first thing you see up on the top of the page will be a button you can click to buy your tickets now. We've got 48 seats to fill, and we're going to work to fill every single one of them, and we want you all to be there. And as I pulled into my parking spot, I want you all to know that there's like a big-ass eagle in the tree over our apartment, just kind of looking around and observing. He landed there while I was finishing recording this. And I'm going to take that as a good sign that there is work to be done, and he's overlooking and overwatching, and it's time to take action and stalk my prey. I guess that's the best metaphor I've got for that now, because he just flew off. So, all right, guys, thank you all for listening today. I love you all. Have a great day, and go take some action now.